Hey everybody, Thunder here. Bet you thought you'd never see me again. I just wanted to respond to your response to my last video, which I got all kinds of people commenting on because I said I don't know much longer I'm going to do these. It was about censorship and all that stuff. I get down sometimes when I don't hear from people. I wonder if I'm talking to the wind, but I heard from a lot of people. Oh, by the way, you can see my eyes if I put my glasses down on my nose. Somebody said they couldn't see my eyes. Well, I guess you can see them now, huh? Pretty deep, huh? Anyway, I wanted to talk about a couple of things. Last night after my video, or yesterday, and then last night I did some spiritual practices with grandfather Wakan Tonka, Great Spirit, and I did a lot of prayer because sometimes, I almost lose my faith because I see what's happening around the world and the planet and all that stuff, and just sometimes I get down and I forget to really do that communication ritual with what we call God. And sometimes I don't like that word God, but then I started thinking, well, there's probably, if you Googled how many names there are for God, you'd probably come up with something like 100,000 or 10,000 names for God. And so God's okay. I just have to think of it as Grand Omniscient Director, an acronym, Grand Omniscient Director. We don't understand the ways of the creative intelligence, a grandfather, grandmother. But let me tell you, I definitely felt a washing of the Spirit over me last night in answer to my prayers. Tunkashila is the name for grandfather's breath, or when you're in a sweat lodge, which is called an inipi, when you're in a sweat lodge and the steam is coming up from the rocks and rising up, it's called grandfather's breath. And sometimes when you smoke the chinunpa, same thing, grandfather's breath. Tunkashila is also interpreted as kind of like a Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit, the Christians would probably call it the Holy Spirit. Holy in Lakota is Wakan. Okay, that's why it's Wakan Tonka, the great mystery. You can't really put a definition on God. You can't put a definition, male, female. You have to completely throw everything out the window except for one thing, your direct communication with Spirit. Okay? Can't think of it in biblical terms or any kind of terms other than what's comfortable for you. But just remember that God is there for you in some form and will grant you the peace that you require to make it through this chaotic crap that we're going through. And I was thinking about my video, and I was thinking about what I was going to do, or what I was going to name my next video. Well, if I'd name it "Thank you for replying to me, my pleas for some kind of recognition that you're hearing me." Okay? And I got more than I expected. And I appreciate that from all the people that did it. Now, while I'm here, thought I'd talk a little bit about the consciousness, what I'm going to call Hitler consciousness. Okay. I think that basically, when you think about Hitler, and people use that term to accuse one another of all kinds of different things, little Hitler or whatever. I would prefer to think of it as Hitler consciousness, which is what's invaded America. I can only speak for America, maybe the whole world. We thought we got rid of Hitler, right? We thought, the big bad guy, the big demon of the German people, the Holocaust, the one that, killed millions and millions of people, is gone. But it's not gone, because it's a consciousness. It's it has to do with a consciousness. It has to do with repression, of freedom, murder. We know what Hitler stood for, the Holocaust, murder, all that stuff. But if you think about the Holocaust, so there were so many millions of people killed in the death camps, but how many hundreds of millions are killed in the name of that consciousness? And that consciousness has taken over America. And it's taken over the world, really. I mean, half the leaders of the world are little Hitlers, because they kill people, they murder people, and they might not do it in death camps, but they do it in other ways, with drones and stupid wars and setting up death squads in other countries and supplying rebels that they know are killers with arms and with health care, and just a million different ways they are a little Hitler or Hitler consciousness. So, Hitler invades America. Hitler invades Turkey. Hitler invades the UK. Hitler invades all these different countries that lie. And I talked about the downing of that airplane and how the truth has come out about how that was part of the. If you really look at it, that picture of that fighter jet shooting down defenseless people in a Malaysian jetliner, and then the countries making hay for their side over the dead bodies of people that they know who shot it down. I just can't get over that. And I can't get over the fact that nobody's talking about it. You should be talking about it to your friends. You should be out there going, man, this is the last straw. That they would do this to people, in such a blatant fashion. But anyway, getting back to this communing with Great Spirit. I think everybody should do that right now. I think that if you haven't been doing it, or if you've lost some kind of faith because you see so much horrific experiences in the world, or horrific just mankind treating each other like shit. I think I might rethink about cussing so much because somebody said they discussed this with their children or whatever. Well, I don't know what you consider children. Who's going to understand this? I don't know. Maybe I'll try to use different lingo sometimes, but hey, that's just not me, but I'll try. Anyway, getting back to this communing with Great Spirit, it's imperative that you do that. And I want to get that message out today because I felt such peace last night. And I did like 3 hours of what I call prayer and ritual. trying to reconnect sometimes. You know, you have to reconnect because you get so wrapped up in life and you get so distraught that you think that there's really nobody there for me. There is. And you have spirit guides all around you, and mine come down and open up my third eye and my crown chakra, and Great Spirit just washed me with this peaceful feeling last night that I was indescribable. It brought tears to my eyes. So you know that the Great Spirit is there for you. Whatever name you want to call it, whatever name you give it, it's okay. I've been a little hard on people before about, you know, it's not the fact that you know, whatever name you call it or whatever is the fact is that are you a hypocrite? Are you, you know, calling yourself a Christian and then going out and murdering people? That's the thing that bothers me. You know, but maybe that's just me. But the thing is that it doesn't matter whether we're in this world or the next world, or whether we, you know, we leave this existence. That spirit is there for you. Just want you people to know that spirit is there for us all. Doesn't matter the chaotic events that are going on the planet or on the earth. Okay, it doesn't matter that there's murderous idiots, and there's always been murderous idiots. So I guess that what I'm trying to tell you here is that don't give up hope, don't give up faith, don't give up connecting with Great Spirit just because you don't think that Great Spirit is operating in the manner that you think Great Spirit should operate. I get into that sometimes. It's like, what's going on here? You know, how can this be allowed to happen? And just got to bypass that thought and go direct to Great Spirit, and Great Spirit will just comfort you. Send grandfather's breath to you, Tunkashila. Okay, the Holy Spirit or the holy feeling or whatever. I think people get this feeling that, you know, God has deserted them, or I get that feeling sometimes, and it's like, no. You can't think of it in terms of, you got to think of it in terms of, I was thinking in terms of grand omniscient director, okay, directing things like an orchestra, but we don't know what the final outcome is, and when we leave this plane, it could all been a dream and a lesson for some reason to us, or a chewing out of the sword, okay, just like they chew out the metal in a sword, a samurai sword, and they beat on it and beat on it and beat on it and beat on it and stick it in the fire again and in the water, and it goes through this process of a truing out, gaining that fine edge to cut through the bullshit, okay? And that's what maybe we're going through. Who knows why, but just know this, if you try to connect with Great Spirit, you will connect if you're honest and heartfelt and feel from your heart, okay, that you need to connect, because in this hour of need of everybody, and in this consciousness shift I talked about before, it's imperative that you connect. I can't tell you how important it is for you to connect. Okay, because that's the only way, that's your only way that you're going to get through it. It's the only way that you're going to have peace brought to you from a higher source through your chakras, through the aura, through your energy systems, through the computer going dark. All of the things that we face every day, our spirit guides are there for us. And we do have spirit guides. We do have, you can call them angels or you can call them whatever you want, but we all have our own in the form of whatever great spirit chooses to assign to us. And how do I know this? Because I experience it. And when you let go, when you let go of that feeling of not reaching out to that other dimension, that other side, that higher self, you can even call it your higher self if you want to, you know, because it is your higher self. You have to go through your higher self or your higher etheric bodies to get to God or to Great Spirit or to whatever name you assign to it. And does it exist? Well, it must, because everybody, how can it not? Look at let's look at nature for a minute. Let's just look at how nature works. Let's not look at how man works. Let's look at how nature works. Let's look at the phenomenal workings of nature. Okay. If you get into that at all, you will see that there has to be some kind of divine, if that's what you want to call it, or holy intelligence behind the workings here. We are really puny in the face of it. There is some kind of divine intelligence, and you can rest assured that even if we were vaporized tomorrow, we would be united with it. So it doesn't matter. You know, it doesn't matter. And sometimes, you know, when I get on these videos and I start railing about, well, like I talked about earlier, Hitler consciousness, it's here. It's a fact, you know. Repression and I don't know if you want to call it the dark side of the moon or the yin side of the yang or whatever you want to call it, but the Hindus call it the Kali Yuga, the dark, you know, the Kali Yuga. We just happen to be going in, you know, our spirits that are present in these physical bodies just happen to be going through this at this particular time. Have faith, people. Have faith, okay, that there is something much grander and much higher than anything that we could ever imagine. And open up to feeling that peace. Man, if you got to get down on your knees or do ritual or do whatever you do for ritual, if you got to do that for 2 hours straight and cry your ass off and do everything, you'll feel that peace. Okay? You'll feel that peace of that higher energy that is way beyond our physical being. Okay? And all great medicine men, all shamans, all holy men, Buddha and Christ and or Yeshua or, you know, whoever, Babaji, Krishna, whoever, whatever name, holy, Wakan, okay, Great Spirit. That's the way I address from an indigenous point of view, and from a Taoist point of view, it's the Tao, it's the unexplainable, it's the great mystery. So you have to tune into that great mystery. it's not so mysterious when you feel the energy from it. That's all you need to feel is the energy. I keep saying it's all about energy. And so that's all you need to feel is the energy from Great Spirit, the energy from the Supreme Source, the life giver, the creator of all living things. There's a master plan somewhere that we have no idea what it's about or what it's for. That's the way you have to think. Okay? And if you think that, if you make that connection, it'll raise you right out of the misery of this existence. So I just wanted to say that, and I wanted to say thank you to the people that answered my last video and said, hey, yeah, I'm still out here and all that good stuff. So I might stick around a while. I don't know. Here I am again the next day, but I might take a break still because it gets overwhelming, but I feel there's a consciousness shift, and Great Spirit is telling me to just chill out and relax with everything, because you have to realize that it's like that friend that's always there for you. It's how you have to look at Great Spirit. And if there's no friends that are there for you, then you can rest assured that there is one friend there for you, or maybe many, on the other side of this curtain, okay, that we can't see, but we can feel it if we tune into it. Trust me. I've had experiences where I've completely left this body. I probably was dead. I was definitely not in this body anymore. I was gone. I was in another place, and it was very, very enlightening and peaceful and calm. Didn't want to come back, actually, but I did for some reason. And I asked Great Spirit, what is my purpose here? And obviously my purpose is what I'm doing right now, I guess. So I was told. So I'll try to continue on, as hard as it is sometimes, to be a wisdom keeper and impart the knowledge to others. And somebody said they discuss some of my videos with their family. Wow, that's nice. I didn't want to dwell too much on the negative today. I wanted to dwell a little bit more on the positive side of what we have in store, or what we can rely upon, always there. Great Spirit is always there for us. Doesn't matter what's going on in this chaotic world. Doesn't matter the craziness, the killing, the murder. It's all an illusion. Must be there to teach us some kind of lesson. That's all I got to say. And if we get too caught up in it, then we become... I just say, if you're going to tune into something on the channel, tune into the channel of spirituality and Great Spirit and Tukashila, or the Tao, and know that it's way beyond anything we can imagine. We couldn't imagine. We couldn't even begin to imagine, but we can feel when that presence washes over us. And the only way that presence is going to wash over you is for you to open up to it and talk to it and do ritual, okay, whatever ritual it is that you do to summon spirit. Because that's our only hope, people, with this Hitler consciousness and this murderous consciousness that's going on in the world, is, and just the backbiting and the horrible, it is coming to some kind of head. And it is going to flip-flop over. Okay. It definitely is going to flip-flop at some point. It's happened in history. All you have to do is look at history and you'll see that it reaches a certain point and then it flip-flops over into, and when it does, everybody is in stark terror and they have no idea what happened. How did this happen? It's upon them like a thief in the night, the Bible would say. It's upon you like a thief in the night. It'll creep on you, you know, it's just like you're out in a campfire, you know, in the Old West, and the bad guys are sneaking up on you through the trees to steal your horses or your gold or whatever, you know. They're creeping in to get you. And that's what's happening with what's going on in our reality. What we call our reality is that somehow the darkness or the bad guys or the outlaws are sneaking through the trees and nobody sees them. They're deluded by what they see as the campfire or the warmth of maybe their own home or their families. Well, that's okay, enjoy that, but don't ignore what's coming up through the trees here. That's all I gotta say, you know. Don't be caught with your pants down. It's an old saying, or you're gonna get spanked hard. And people get so caught up in their everyday realities, they forget about, not only do they forget about, you know, the bad guys sneaking up on them, but they forget about Great Spirit. They don't even connect with that. I doubt if too many people are pretty much void of any kind of spirituality nowadays. Maybe they call them atheists, or maybe they call themselves agnostics, or maybe they call themselves whatever, or maybe they just, well, an agnostic is a person that doesn't know, they don't know. That's okay. Or an atheist is a person that doesn't believe in anything on a spiritual level, mostly. But I mean, if your senses are open, you know that there's something out there. Okay? And if the earth was to burn up tomorrow because the sun spit out a flare at us, or if there was to be a nuclear Armageddon or whatever, it wouldn't matter because we're all one with Great Spirit, and we would just immediately be reunited with Great Spirit. So what difference does that make if these idiots do whatever? The only thing I feel bad about is, I think the lesson, you know, on some level is that we got this beautiful planet, you know, and we got this beautiful earth, and look what we've done to it. Look what man has done to this beautiful earth that Great Spirit, Wakan Tonka, has given to us. We're the caretakers of this planet. And we're the caretakers of each other, and look what we've done. We don't have a good track record, people. We've let it get out of control. We've let the masters of trickery and evil and murderous thoughts get out of control, and murderous thoughts to the planet. Okay? Now, maybe if there's any kind of, you know, I don't believe in judgment, but you know, if there's any kind of responsibility, I feel that it's, and I wouldn't be on here if I didn't feel this, is that we recognize that, you know, we are caretakers of one another and caretakers of this planet. That's all I can figure, is that we're, you know, that we should be beholding to our brothers and sisters and our brother and sister two-legged and four-legged and the winged ones, and live in harmony with it, live in harmony with it, and keep those who wish to destroy it and deplete it of its resources and use those resources for greedy purposes. It's up to us as each individual to put out the thought, and maybe the way that we can stop that is by connecting with Great Spirit and saying, yes, we realize what's going on, will you help us? There's nothing wrong with asking for help. Okay, so ask for it. Okay, appreciate all you people that sent in and said you're listening to me and that I make a difference in your life, and don't know how many more of these I'll crank out, but just thought I'd get back today and say thank you for that, and try to be a little bit more positive and use a little less. If kids are listening to this, but what's a kid, 18, 17, 16? Man, I forgot what it was like to be a kid. Maybe you ought to explain to them that Thunder's just using these words for, I don't know, put your hands over their ears or do something. I'm not perfect. All right, I'm out of here. Adios. Love to all you people, and thank you for writing in and telling me that you were listening. It means a lot to me. It does. And it's good for you, too, to interact and let people know that you support their efforts in this crusade of spirituality. Okay? All right, I'll leave it there. Later on, take care.